This thing's a monster and it looks pretty new. Oh, there it is right there. Built in 2020. And let's see how long they've been on the market. Oh, good morning and welcome back to another weekly deal analysis here in the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. Each and every week, I pick a random house off the internet, analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Let's get into it. Today, we are diving into Georgia. 284 Thorp Circle in Hinesville, Georgia, 31313, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,883 square feet. This thing's a monster and it looks pretty new. Oh, there it is right there. Built in 2020. And let's see how long they've been on the market. Oh, 288 days. All right, let's see what we got in here. This is, I don't like real estate agents. And yes, I am one too, but this is awful. In 288 days, they've only had 304 showings or views, I guess, and only 22 saves. But the agent's not telling us anything. Agents, this is not 2020. You can't blink and a house just sells. I digress. Let's jump into this thing and take a look at some pictures and see what we got going on. Obviously, the yard needs to be cut. Dual units. The sucker's big. Got solar panels on the back. LVPs. I mean, everything's brand new in here. It's only, 5-year-old house. You got all the fancy new stuff. All right, condition looks good. Let's see what else we see in here. All right, so they've been chasing the market. All right, so they paid 253, excuse me, 256, 310. And they're trying to sell it for how much? I mean, it's not crazy. But 2023 in December of 23, pricing really hasn't changed that much overall, which is probably part of the reason why it's still sitting here. Sold in 2020. Yeah, I mean, you only have this much of a jump, 245 to 256 in 3 years. And now they're trying to jump it another $50,000. And when they haven't updated anything, because again, it's only a 5-year-old house. So, but being that they bought in 23, probably won't work for us though too. What do our comparable sales look like? Oh, we got one currently for sale for 235. Much smaller house. I mean, it's like half the size. Never mind. That's not a good comp. 315. When did this sell? This closed, but when? In 24. Okay, not bad. All right, so there's a decent comp. 265. Smaller. A good bit smaller. When did this close? All right, same here. Not bad. What's this 304 look like? Pretty comparable. Doesn't look like anything's sold in the last like 6 months, roughly. Sound right to you? I think this is one we already looked at. Let's double check it. Yeah, we looked at this one. This was the November close. Nope, July. All right, so this picture's horrible also, by the way. I digress again. All right, so clearly 310 is not the number on this. I'm gonna go with 290. We're gonna say 290 is our ARV. ARV. Renos. I don't think it needs any renos. Just needs to be kind of cleaned up a little bit. So we'll leave that empty. And there's probably an HOA, but they're not telling us what the HOA fee is. So we're going to analyze this as if there is no HOA. All right, so I think Zillow has told us pretty much all we can hear. So now we head over to the Invest Nest. I got it pulled up here on the Invest Nest, and I love this software. I have it pulled up here in the Invest Nest. I love this software. You can skip trace straight from here. It tells you all the financing details. It tells you all of the sales and mortgage information. It gives you the location with the county, all of the legal descriptions. So just tons and tons of information. And I really like the Invest Nest. They do offer a 1 week free trial to where you just kind of sign up real quick and test it out. They don't charge you for a week. If you don't cancel it by then I do believe they charge you. But if you use code Chris Thompson Real Estate at checkout, you can save 50% off on your first month. I'll put the link up here, but I'll also put it down in the bio. Let's analyze this thing. All right, we're gonna call this 248 Thorp. Beard's itchy today. All right, so we're saying our ARV is 290. And since I know you watch me, what's our offer price? 70% of ARV. Very good. What is ARV? After repair value. So 290 times 70%, 203. So our cash price is 203. So that's what we're going to offer them. It's a whole lot less than what they paid for it. So it's probably not going to work, but hey, who knows? Closing costs, our side, we're looking at about 2 points. Hard money costs are 2 points. We said there's no improvements because it's only a 5-year-old house. We only want to put 20% down. And rates kind of suck right now. I just got quoted 7.75 last week on a deal. Not my favorite. That's why I like creative finance. 30-year term and rental income. All right, so the Invest Nest is saying 1550. I always like to check HUD. This is the HUD website. You can punch in the state. You can punch in the county, which I pull off of the Invest Nest, and it will give you basically their max payments on this stuff. So for HUD, they're willing to pay for a 4-bedroom up to 2401. And just confirm, yes, this is a 4-bedroom. So 2400, realistically, they'll probably only give about 2200. So putting that number in here. 2200 for HUD. And property taxes, that seems right. What we got here tells us our tax base. I always like to compare, if you haven't noticed. 2059.33. Yeah, they're about right. Insurance, this is a little bit bigger house, so we're probably $130 a month. So what's that? 1600. We'll go with 1600. Management fee, 10%, standard across the board. Our utilities, the tenant's going to be paying those, so we don't need to factor those in. This is my war chest. I love that they factor this in because you have to keep a war chest. So that's for repairs and maintenance, vacancy, and just overall CapEx. CapEx, you probably don't need to factor in on this because, again, everything's only 5 years old. So You know what? I'm going to leave it in there. So I like to keep a minimum of 15% in the war chest because it's never if something's going to happen, it's always when something's going to happen. Appreciation rates, plan to hold for 10 years. We are real estate investors. We don't pay full commission. And let's see what our numbers look like. Oh, that's all right. So even at 70% of ARV, you're still losing $142 a month. That's not good. What is our break-even price? All right, roughly break even is 178. And that really just boils down to the interest rate. So not a great deal. Let's kick this back up to that 203. All right, so all of this is just kind of junk. So hey, you can spend $50,000 and lose $142 a month. Clearly, cash is not the answer on this because I'm sure every wholesaler that looks in the state of Georgia has called on this property. They're probably offering even less, but you know, the seller's not looking to completely take a bath on this thing, I'm assuming. So, not a great investment. So, let's analyze this thing for creative. This is my creative calculator. You can get it off my website, christhompsonteam.com. I have my calculator on there, my creative checklist, and even my contract. Download them for free. Enjoy. So, oh, I never cleared this up from the last one, but we did say our ARV was 290. Our purchase price, what did they pay for this thing? What did you say they paid for this? Here it is. History, they paid 256. All right, so we're going to offer 250. And we're going to offer them a sweet 2% interest because that's how we like to try to make things work. And let me zero these out. Potential rents we said were 2,200, not 22,000. And all right, so to factor our PITI or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, I like to use Bankrate. They have a phenomenal platform and it's quick in, quick out. So we said 250. And on these seller finance deals, I only like to offer 5%. 2%, 31313. Property taxes per month were another reason why I like the Invest Nest. They do all this stuff for me. Property taxes are going to be $500 a month. But $500 a month. Insurance was $130 a month. And we're pretending that there is no HOA fee, but I'm sure there is. All right, so that brings our payment down to 1508, and that is our PITI. All of these things factored in right here. Go plug this number in. PITI 1508. Gross cash flow, almost $700. War chest, management, and it still gives us a reasonable cash flow and nothing great. So there again, being that it's a 5-year-old house, you could probably shift that 5% for CapEx for at least a couple of years over to the net cash flow. So we said we're going to give them 5% down. That magic number is 12.5. 12,500. Agent commission, they're not getting it done, so we'll just give them 1,000 or $500. Closing costs, I'm factoring about 3.5%, covering everything, the buyer side and the seller side. Cost of renos, we're going with 0. Cost of holding, 2 months of that PITI and a good TC on something like this will be about $1,000. So almost half of what the cash deal was. So 26 out of pocket, and that is a 15-year ROI. It's not the greatest ROI, but like I said, if we change this to from 15 to 10%, that's pretty reasonable. So there is our cash analysis and our creative analysis on 284 Thorp Circle in Hinesville, Georgia, 31313. Really definitely doesn't work for a cash deal. Creative deal, maybe. It could be decent. Either way, I'd love to know your thoughts. Drop me a comment below. If you like what I'm doing, tell me. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me. I'm always looking to try to make this better, more interesting. And obviously, I do this just to help people. So that does it here for us this week on this week's weekly deal analysis here in the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. We'll see you next week.